Welcome to another exciting session in the channel. Today we are discussing a very interesting topic, especially for those who want to come over to Canada as a student. We are going to find out the different documents that you need to have first before you put in your application for student permit. The very first document you need is what we call the proof of acceptance form. What is proof of acceptance? Well, when you apply to a school, you must be sure that they send you and you accept the letter of acceptance. When you are putting in your application for student permit, you want to include the original copy or the electronic copy with the study application permit. This is very, very important for you to do that. One thing to note is that if you have been offered a conditional enrollment, you would need to take prerequisite courses first. And so, for example, this might be someone who has come from a place where English is not their first language and they are coming over to Canada. They will be required to take English language courses. And once they've completed these, then they will need to apply for a new student permit to extend their stay as a student. The very next documentation you need is what we'll call proof of identity. What is proof of identity? Nobody will want to travel without even having a passport. So for most people, proof of identity will actually be our passport, which was issued to us or to anyone from any country willing to travel to another one. So in this instance, you will need a valid passport. Please take note, the passport should be in your own legal name. What you need to do when you are doing this application process, you scan it and upload a copy of the information page of your passport online. Then you will need to include 2 passport size photographs. The specifications are always given. You will see what they call identification checklist so that you can get the required specification that you need to send. So it is not just any passport. They must meet the spec given to you by IRCC. Next document you will need is proof of financial support. Coming to Canada actually involves so much expenses. You will need an accommodation, you will need to buy a book, you will need to pay for school fees, you will need transportation costs, you need to pay other bills from getting books, groceries, and all the like. All this includes finance. So coming over to Canada, you need to show the government of Canada, in the very first instance, the immigration officer, that you have suitable amount of finance to support you and whomever is coming with you. You can prove that you have funds by transferring money from your home country to a Canadian bank, if that is possible. Well, for many, it is not possible. So what you need to do is to come with a bank statement for the last 4 months. Take note, it is not for 2 months, it is not for 3 months. You have to include bank statement for the last 4 months. Sometimes you might be sponsored, so you need to get a letter from the person or giving you that money as a guarantee of that sponsorship. So scholarship are fine. You need proof of funding from whether a governmental institution or a non-governmental institution. You need to show proof that you have access to this fund while you are in Canada. You also need to show that you have enough funds to cater for anybody who is coming with you. There are different amounts that is shown. So if you are a student coming to Canada, you need to be able to prove that you've paid your school fees. You will be able to show that you have about $10,000. And for each family members, you need to, that is the very first family member that is joining you. If you're coming, you need to show another proof of $4,000. That totals $14,000. And for every additional family member that is coming with you, you need to show for each person $3,000. So let's say you are just 3 coming, the man, the wife, and a child. you will need to show proof of $17,000. The next document that you will show the immigration officer, and that is letter of explanation. The letter of explanation is very simple. When you are putting your application, you need to convince the visa officer why is it you want to come to Canada to study. So it is not just saying, oh, I love to come to Canada because it is a place where I can learn. No, you want to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that the educational system as far as outweigh what you are getting from home and what benefit you will derive coming to school here and taking it back home. It is only by doing that you will be able to convince the visa officer. So it is not just saying you love to study in Canada. No. For example, you can tell them, you know the situation of things, you've reached a glass ceiling, and the educational system, what they offer will be able, when you return, to break that ceiling and move, probably get a promotion, and you can climb the corporate ladder. That sounds right. Something in that stead will be good, letting the IRCC immigration officer be aware of. They actually need that, and that is where so many people get it wrong and they are rejected. So think twice, look for people who have done it before, look for sample copies so that you can get that letter of acceptance right. You can put something that is concrete. And for other people coming from some countries, you will be required to have a medical examination. So if your plan of study is more than 6 months, if you spend some time in other countries, you will be required to undergo a medical examination. This is very, very key so that you will not be coming with ailments that will bog the system down. For some countries too, you will be required to provide other documents. So you will need to actually consult the visa office that is responsible for processing your application. Then they will be able to tell you which other documents you need to provide to facilitate the processing of your application. Once you've done this, you are good. You are good to send in your application. Well, like as always, whatever things I am doling out in this channel should not be taken as legal advice. I am not a registered Canadian immigration consultant. I am only sharing my experience. I'm only sharing information as found in the Government of Canada website, which is accessible. Unfortunately, not many persons go there. And that is why I'm just using this as an opportunity to bring it to the many persons who want this information so that they can get access to it freely. If you found value thus far, please subscribe to the channel, share this video to your family, your friends who are interested in coming to Canada so that they know the different documents that they need to have to process the documentation. Please do not fall for scam. Ensure that whatever documentation you are having are genuine. You can get all the documentation from the Government of Canada website. If you wish, if that is your sole wish, you can consult a registered immigration consultant who can help you, but they will definitely help you with a price. For some people, many, including myself, who lost so much money, who want to do it ourselves. So doing it yourself, it is easy and you can actually scale through by just meticulously going to the website or following the prompt of my leadings, and you will definitely succeed. And I will see you in the next video.